Hi, everyone. Michelle asked me to uh, sort of fill in for her. I can't quite fill in for her because she would have lots of eloquent things to say that I won't have, but I'm happy to do this. It's been great to have Marat and Morgan as part of the team this spring. You got to do lots of fun things. We're going to be really interested to hear about them all, and it's always a fun time to celebrate having had this time with you and seeing, and for those of us like me that weren't as involved with what you've done, to see what you worked on and everything like that. So this is always a special day for us, and I'm glad that the team was here to get to celebrate it. I also want to do I have to admit someone? I don't have my glasses.
Sorry, I'll do it.
So
No worries.
I would hit the wrong button.
All good.
All right. But the other thing that I want to do is this won't be the last chance, but to really recognize Cody, because this is the last intern group that she will have as her own. She's going to transition to Caitlin doing this from here on. And I think I know all of the staff and all of the interns, not just Morgan and Marat, but all that have come before, all so appreciate what an incredible job Cody has done with this program. It's really um, made it a way of both bringing great value to the organization, but also a really solid opportunity to get exposure for interns to the work that we do. But really what's great about this it is that we bring in the rest others in the community to share that as well. And that's really something that Cody has cultivated to make sure you have a chance to hear from all sorts of people in different professional operations and whatnot. And so, Cody, you've created just a really great template and framework for this program, and your commitment to it has been outstanding, and how much you really care about what the interns are getting out of their experience and trying to make it better each time, and then also giving us a chance to interact in lots of different ways, and including everyone in opportunities together for events and other such things. So we so appreciate this. I know we'll be able to celebrate you again as well, but thank you for everything you've done, and I wanted to share that. So with that, I'll turn it over to Cody.
Thank you guys for being here. Of course, most of you know me. I'm Dakota Dolan, the Forest Program Manager, and also the Internship Program Manager. It has been so fun managing the internship, and I really am thankful for being able to have the opportunity to do that for the last couple of years. And thank you, Tim, for all of your really kind remarks and thank yous. That means a lot. And it's great to kind of send you guys off on a good note, and I'm excited to see your final presentations here today. This is kind of a really fun cherry on top of the term when we get to celebrate what you've done, and you can share with everybody else exactly what you've been working on for the last 12 weeks. And so for anyone who's unfamiliar with the internship, it's a 12-week immersive experience where interns are kind of brought on in the service of our work. So interns are paired with a staff mentor where they work together to cultivate a project that both kind of addresses needs of the organization at this unique moment in time, but also brings on board each intern's unique skills, interests, and goals. So it's kind of a marrying of these two ideas that is in the service of our work and of the community. So hopefully you were able to gain a lot from this. It's always really fun to cultivate the experience for you guys and make sure that you get everything you need to kind of take the next steps with confidence and knowing that you have more skills under your belt. So we'll move on to our next intern project, Marat Washburn, and he'll tell us about his coordinating our Heat Pump Hoedown event.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Marat. I was one of the spring interns along with Morgan, and I'm here to talk about my project, the Heat Pump Hoedown. So before I begin, I want to kind of introduce myself. I know that some of us have met already, but I moved here from Washington, D.C. in elementary school when my family wanted to spend more time outdoors, and I'm not sure there's much of a better place than Steamboat here. And this is kind of where I really gained my passion for the outdoors. As soon as we moved here, I joined the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, where I learned how to ski race, which kind of taught me discipline, teamwork, and just the importance of great snow, which I think is a major, I guess, talking point nowadays. And so ski racing also gave me the opportunity to ski and attend Bates College. Bates College's D1 the academic and alpine ski team. After graduating Bates, I had many opportunities like working in the US Senate and on governor's campaigns, but nothing is compared to moving back here, coaching the ski team at the local high school and also working at the Western Resilience Center. So during my mentorship or my my internship, I got the opportunity to work with Paul Boney and Tad Lane along with Dakota Dolan. And so Paul brought strong big picture strategy in helping how to guide the Heat Pump Hoedown and how that fits into, I guess, the Western Resilience Center's energy and transportation goals. Tad was especially central in logistics and also outreach support. And then Cody, just kind of going off of what Tim said earlier, you've been unbelievable as well in kind of coordinating our internship. And yeah. So for partners, this event depended on strong partnerships, and I was lucky enough to work with a few key people in organizing the Heat Pump Hoedown. I worked with Tom Polikalis, clean energy climate consultant, Caitlin Dolan from the City of Steamboat Springs, and also the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club. So the Heat Pump Hoedown was created because there's a real information gap in the Yampa Valley around heat pumps, even though the interest is growing. Heat pumps are a practical solution because they provide efficient heating and cooling, but people still need clear answers that feel local and trustworthy. A lot of residents and building professionals have the same questions. How does heat pump work in cold climate? What incentives might apply, and who can install it well in this region? Without those answers, many people stay interested but never move forward. This is why this event format matters. The Hoedown is designed to put suppliers, contractors, and community members in the same room so that people can ask questions, see options, and make connections that turn curiosity into action. The long-term values that it builds relationships and capacities. The goal is not just a one-time event, but a stronger network of contractors and suppliers that can support ongoing adoption. So why does this matter for the Western Resilience Center? For the Western Resilience Center, this event supports broader emission reduction goals and climate resilient building strategies that make building electrification feel more practical and community driven. It also directly supports the Routt County Climate Action Plan or CAP goals by helping advance building efficiency and lower emissions heating. According to the CAP's 2023 greenhouse gas emissions report, the residential and commercial buildings accounted for 45% of the emissions. A way to reduce these emissions are heat pumps. Heat pumps are unique because they are the most scalable building electrification tools. They move heat rather than creating it by burning fossil fuels. Many heat pump systems also provide both heating and cooling, which is relevant with the summers getting warmer. So the main objectives for this event was designed to address barriers for heat pump adoption, such as upfront costs, about incentives, and uncertainty about which systems are appropriate for local conditions. Another core goal is to bring together local contractors, suppliers, and community members in a structured way that helps build a stronger community network. So my main objective in this role is to fill the seats and make attendance valuable enough that contractors, vendors, that will keep engaging beyond this one day. Specifically, one of the measures of success was to fill 40 or more contractor seats and 50 community seats, along with 9 vendor tables. Ultimately, success looks like people leaving the event with clear next steps. For homeowners, that might be asking questions to contractors or asking questions for contractors. And for contractors, that might be finding new relationships, increased confidence, and better access to incentives and training resources. So for the methods, a big part of my role was to build and improve the already built contractor contact lists, first started by previous interns, Akayla Clark and Andrew Williams. I was tasked with expanding and organizing them for final targeted outreach. So I created a master spreadsheet, kind of compiled every single contractor with, I think, 170 confirmed email contacts. Between the list that the previous interns had created and ones that I made, there were over 800 contacts that I had to sort through. So to do that, I reviewed the list, cleaned up duplicates, standardized formatting, and also used ChatGPT to help sort and structure the data so it was useful for a mass communication and follow-up tracking. And so the second step was for outreach. I drafted and prepared the save the date communication later that Tad later ended up sending out to the 170 contractor list with confirmed emails. And so on the logistical side, I worked on creating an accurate floor plan for the venue. So I measured Olympian Hall to kind of estimate how many attendees and that can fit comfortably and how many vendor tables we can place along the sidewalls and entrances. This mattered because if the space feels cramped or disorganized, it makes the vendor participation feel less effective and reduces networking value. We also looked at different entrances and exits, along with alternate ways to unload and move equipment that the vendors might bring, such as heat pump units or demo heat pump units, which weighed close or roughly 250 pounds. So unfortunately, the heat pump hoedown happens after my internship ends. So I'm not presenting final event outcomes. Instead, I'm focusing on what has been completed and what is in motion. A key deliverable is the expanded organized contractor and supplier list that is ready for communication and follow-up. This list is foundational because it determines who is invited and how effectively we can target different parts of the building industry. Another major output is that the save the date outreach process is underway and is underway. The goal is not to just reach 170 contacts, but to convert those contacts into confirmed attendees and potentially build on the relationships for the future. On the planning side, the early drafts for the seating layout and table layout were developed and finalized to fit 10 tables of vendors, which was more than we originally planned for. The projected metrics we've been working towards in the beginning were 40 or more contractor seats and about 50 community member seats. And those numbers depended on how the continued outreach, which has been going unbelievable so far. As of last night, Tad told me that we had about 58 contractor attendees and 47 community attendees. So I'm looking forward to see what the final number would be when we come to the Heat Pump Hoedown. And so after the hoedown event, one of the most important follow-through actions will be maintaining the contractor network. The event itself is valuable, but the long-term impact comes from the sustained relationships and consistent communication. Building a heat pump resource library would be a strong next step just because education or the community education should not end after just one event. There could be a simple set of materials like FAQ sheets or incentive overview or contractor guide or question guide could be reused for future outreach. I also recommend that tracking attendance and follow-up interest so that the Western Resilience can identify which contractors are willing to install, which suppliers are engaged, and what gaps still exist in the local market. People often leave events motivated, but lose momentum or forget what is said at the events. So post-event follow-up email series or resources being put up on the website, such as, or could bridge those gaps. And finally, I think the Western Resilience should keep working with the partners like the manufacturers and the regional contract networks to keep building technical updates and training opportunities to local contractors. So for the other contributions I had during this internship were, the inside opening, which we did which I helped Morgan checking in people. And it was also supporting the event flow, which also helped me learn what makes community events run smoothly in real time. I also contributed to the Next Generation newsletter, which strengthened my ability to write for a public audience and connect local action to broader climate goals. But one of the most valuable learning experiences I had was working with Tad on observing how a blower door test and an energy assessment is done. I got to see, or it was a clear hands-on way to understand how much air leaks out of a house and why that matters for comfort and energy use. What stood out was the design of choices like insulation and air sealing, material showed up immediately in the results, and the home performed extremely well, not noticing any substantial leaking. So a major takeaway for me was learning how to work on a team and also contribute and lead in meetings in a way that moves projects forward. I gained the confidence to ask questions, update the team members about progress, and also just staying organized when there were multiple parties involved. I also strengthened practical project management skills, especially around outreach, workflows, tracking contacts, and coordinating logistics that depend on other people's timelines. It also reinforced my interest interest in work that connects climate resilience to mountain community life. Overall, this internship helped me see climate work as something that lives in community and relationships and practical implementation. Real progress happens when the information is clear, local professionals are engaged, and people leave with specific next steps. And then finally, I want to thank everybody who made this internship possible. I want to thank my mentors, Paul and Tad, for guiding this project and helping me learn how energy and transportation work at the Resilience Center translates also into real life community action. I want to thank Cody and Abby Vandegraff for supporting the broader internship structure and helping me keep everything organized moving forward. You guys both gave great feedback and brought in some spectacular speakers that were very entertaining and informative. I also want to thank Morgan for always keeping the mood light and being great company. Our partners as well, especially Tom, who was an instrumental resource, and Caitlin in the city of Steamboat Springs for helping with the venue and coordination that made the Heat Pump Hoedown possible. And I want to also finally thank the broader Western Resilience Center team for creating a supportive environment and giving me a meaningful project that connects directly to the community climate goals. So any questions? Let's see. Tim. Oh,
Go ahead, Paul.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I'm curious, it's incredible that you've got so many contractors invested already. I'm curious if you had had conversations with not so much people who were already in the heat pump business, but maybe had a vague sense of that it was important. What kinds of things were they hoping to learn, or how little do they already know about it? I'm curious what your assessment of our contractor community is when it comes to readiness and knowledge around heat pumps.
Yeah, I think the main thing was probably around rebates and kind of giving the contractors or manufacturers that information to kind of inform the homeowners, like what they can kind of achieve by implementing these heat pump systems into their house, depending on kind of another thing was what kind of local conditions or environment system or conditions that they were experiencing. So if they lived in a colder place such as Steamboat, maybe having a heat pump system that would be more efficient, like maybe geothermal or or what was it? Yeah, ground source heat pumps, which is a little bit more efficient and more sustainable. But I think that those were probably the main pieces of information I think were helpful for the contractors. Paul, you got anything?
Sure, I can't see whose hands are up, so you're my eyes on the back there. First of all, I wished I could be there, but planning is everything. So next time, right? What was your favorite part of this internship, and maybe what's your biggest professional takeaway as you're getting ready to enter the workforce?
I honestly think having our intern meetings for the Heat Pump Hoedown every Tuesday, I think that was honestly probably some of my favorite times, just kind of learning how or what ways we could, I guess, move the project forward, giving ourselves kind of like a to-do list and kind of figuring it out as a team. I think those were the most important skill building, I guess, parts of the project or internship that I really enjoyed. I think my favorite part. Oh, I'm not sure. There's been so many. Probably that, honestly, just kind of learning about what everybody could, or learning from everybody, I guess what I would say.
Okay, so and thank you for we kind of threw you in the soup, and you had 10 or 15 hours a week to be focused on one project. What how does this help you fit your plans for the future? And do you have plans for the future?
I do. I mean, well, currently right now I'm in the interview process for a job down in Boulder, but I don't want to get my hopes up too much. But I don't know. I think learning about the heat pumps and kind of how they go or how they can apply it to broader climate goals, I think that's just been like a huge, I guess, piece of information and learning skill that I can use to kind of maybe leverage some other jobs or in the future. But I do want to stay kind of maybe definitely somewhere close in the environmental field.
Cool. Well, we can't wait to see what you do going forward.
Thank you. Yeah, Ryan.
How did your view of community climate action change from before the internship to now?
I guess that's a good question. I think for me, like before this internship, I kind of thought community, like climate, like outreach was more of like, oh, we'll just send out like a couple flyers and then like hopefully they'll gain some information from here. But I think I've gained the knowledge that it's a lot more than that. Kind of understanding, going into community outreach, understanding what the community will think is like more, I guess, valuable and kind of building upon that. Also having events like this, like where you can really leverage bringing in people that know what they want to talk about, not just having like maybe like a piece of paper, a flyer that leads you to a website. I think having a real in-person community engaged event is probably one of the most effective ways, and I think I've learned that.
Similar to Tim's question, if you were able to talk to these contractors, did any of them self-identify as skilled heat pump installers now? And if not, do they see like a big incentive, a future where this is going to be in high demand like we see it? And last question is, what's sort of the geographic range of contractors? How far they can come from?
So the answer to your first question is, I wasn't kind of really in contact with the contractors. We were able to send the list out, but Tad sent the list out, and I only really engaged with one person who emailed me separately, and I think they ended up being one of our, our silver or platinum sponsors. So that was very nice to hear. And the second one, the range of contractors pretty much comes from, what was it? It's not all of Colorado, but it's definitely statewide. I can't remember what the exact kind of radius was. But no, it was, I looked at the Front Range, but we really wanted to focus on local, like, so mainly Routt County and maybe some of the, and Moffat County as well. That's kind of where I pulled my resources from. Let's see. Ready. Sweet. Oh, Tad, yeah, sorry. Hopefully, it depends on the results from the interview, because I could be starting that week. That's what they kind of wanted ASAP, but if that doesn't happen, I'll definitely be here. So I do want to be here, but hopefully I'm not here. Awesome. Thank you.